Yeah. What up, good people, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Thorough, where we give you the real behind business health, money, and self development, and introduce engaging concepts to help you elevate your performance in all areas of life. I'm your host, Cedric Lavelle, joined by my counterpart, E Double.
Yo, 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 your boy E Double, and we back at y'all for episode 103. And the title of this episode is Planting Your Money Tree Steps for Creating Multiple Income Streams. So I got a good episode on deck for y'all. Y'all know I love talking about money. So I got a money episode on deck for y'all. And as always, be sure to hit up the website, keepitthorough.com/kits, and check out the kit that corresponds with this episode. And tell a friend and tell a friend that we back again. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and kick this thing off.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So here's the real. We've all heard the saying that money doesn't grow on trees. You know what I'm saying? If you grew up in a certain household and you was always asking for something, and everywhere you turned, or everywhere you turned, you were saying, I want this, I want that. Your parents may say, what, money don't grow on trees. And so you like the how I said that.
Yeah, it
But
just took me back. Really took me back about 10 minutes ago. I might have said that to Jay. So
hey, you know what I'm saying? Money doesn't grow on trees. But uh, what if I told you, right, that you could plant seeds that steadily sprout into rich income streams, right? And you could have the potential or the possibility of creating something through multiple income streams similar to how a tree would grow, right? If you think about a tree, you think about the roots, right? And there's multiple roots. And when those roots grow, those roots create like a tree stump or the trunk of the tree, right? And then the trunk grows and it has your branches, and the branches create leaves. And if you think about money and multiple income streams, we can look at it in the same way, right? When you have multiple income streams, you have money coming from every angle, right? And then through wisdom and ideas and understanding, those three things can create a stronger financial base, right? And with that strong financial base, it can grow profitable opportunities. And with those profitable opportunities, that has the ability to create a more sound financial future. You can have financial independence, financial freedom, and recognizing the benefits of having multiple income streams is it essentially gives you the opportunity to really understand how you're able to create a future that gives you sustainability, that gives you the freedoms to do things that you want, live the life that you want to live, and really ultimately become the person that you want to become, right? Because when you think about it, man, you can't do anything without money. It's challenging, right? It's very hard to live a productive and comfortable life without having a source of income. And having one source of income is almost close to having no source of income, right? And so when you think about economic downturns, when you think about changes in the business landscape, when you think about layoffs, man, you just considering everything that we've experienced over the past 3 years or so. Well, yeah, three or 4 years or so. Layoffs, people losing jobs. I'm in that boat, right? Unexpectedly, you losing my job. You know what I'm saying? And so understanding, when these things happen, the benefits of having multiple streams of income allow you to be able to navigate those moments and still be able to thrive even during economic downturns.
and perfect subway segue into
Subway, you had Subway
diversifying.
today?
No, but I do have Subway typically a couple times a week though. But perfect segue into diversifying. And one thing that y'all gonna notice throughout this episode is the analogy and kind of like the underlining theme of this is revolved around like like trees, right? Like planting a tree and seeds and like biodiversity, which just just speaks to the diverse amount of life on this planet, right? And how that benefits the overall ecosystem, right? Variety. So when we talk about like diversifying, right? Said kind of hit on this a little bit. And I think that one of the things that drastically changed since the pandemic was the reliance on one source of income. And our financial landscape and just the state of the economy call for everyone to find additional sources of income. And the freedom and flexibility of working from home offered the time needed to invest in some of those other areas that might not have been available if you were going into a job every day, right? So things like DoorDash or Uber Eats or just Uber, or maybe you started a small little Etsy business, or you were just selling some of your services or something that you offer. That sounded terrible. If you were,
Selling some of your
but
services.
if if
Freelancing
you yeah,
services,
right,
you know, just
freelance, and there you go.
expertise, your
If you
skill
if
set.
you were great at writing or a developer or whatever, offering your services like freelance services, right? But just like with any ecosystem, diversity breeds resilience. So your financial well-being becomes more stable when you can pull resources from various offerings, right? So, back to what said mentioned, having one source of income is very close to having no sources of income, because if something happens and that's cut off, you right back to ground zero. But if you got three or four different sources of income and you lose one source of income, you still got two other ones or three other ones that you can pull from, that gives you that um, um, resilience, right? And that variety, to kind of keep you afloat. So, multiple streams of income can be compared to biodiversity. And I explain what that is, right? Like biodiversity in short, it just talks to the various different or variety of life on Earth, right? So there's tons of different life on Earth, and that allows for the ecosystem, our ecosystem on our planet, to be healthier and more resilient. And that same thing holds true with multiple streams of income, right? It creates a more diverse ecosystem for you financially, that makes your financial health, healthier and then more resilient. So for most people, when they're getting started with this concept and trying to find additional sources of income, the challenge lies in finding where to plant those seeds for extra income, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't know, what should I do? And then typically they lean on others and ask questions, or they like see, okay, well, this person seems like they're successful, so let me do what they're doing. And the choices vary significantly depending on your individual skills, your resources, and then your interests. But the thing is what may work for me may not work for you, right? And what may
Right.
be favorable for another one might not be favorable for the other one, right? So understanding what drives you is the key to developing a lasting and profitable income source. So, like, you want to invest in things that you understand, that you're passionate about, and that you can make educated decisions on, and not in something that somebody else is just seeing some success in, because it's not going to
Right.
last long. And when you run into an issue, you're going to constantly be looking for external, sources of information to try to help you make a decision, and you won't be fully equipped with all the tools you need to be successful. So our abilities and our predispositions greatly influence what type of income stream we can successfully cultivate. So again, invest in things that you know about, that you're comfortable in, that you have skills in, right? So like, when people, I'll use stocks as an example. A lot of people always ask, well, what stocks should I invest in? Well, okay, well, what businesses do you like? Like, where do you spend your money? What are some companies that you're passionate about and you have like an emotional connection to? And then one, ask yourself why you have that connection, that emotional connection to that brand. And then look into, do some research and kind of look into that business. And if they've have some sort of creative advantage, some sort of edge, if they've been, successful for an extended period of time, or maybe they're a new company that's seeing a lot of initial success, invest in that, and also take into account what you do for work.
Right.
Because say you work in the medical field, I don't work in the medical field. So I can't really say much about the medical field, but I work in tech. So I understand tech very well. You may know about some breakthrough in medicine or some company that's working on something that kind of gives you a competitive advantage, right? That you can invest in that because you know what's kind of coming down the pipeline. So it's very important to, use your abilities, your passions, your skill set, to determine what would be an additional, or a good investment to create an additional source of income. And that investment doesn't necessarily have to be money. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
That's big. Something that you were saying was using your knowledge and your understanding to make the best decisions, to get the results that you're looking for. And one thing that kind of comes to mind when I think about that is like in golf, right? And I'm not a golfer. Like I'm horrible at golfing. I went one time with my father-in-law and I immediately recognized how bad I was at golfing. So golfing is definitely not my sport. But one thing that I do know about golfing is that whenever you golf, right, if there's a certain shot that you're trying to get off, whether you're trying to hit it long distance or short put, and I may be using the terms wrong, but follow me here. But you're trying to hit the ball short or hit it out of the dirt or whatever the case may be. There's different clubs, golf clubs that you use for these shots, right? You're trying to get a certain result off of the um from the shot that you're taking. You know what I'm saying? Like you could think about like Tiger Woods. Whenever you see Tiger Woods out there, he trying to hit it long, he trying to hit it short, trying to hit it off the green, whatever the case may be. But you're using a different glove club. Like the caddy gives you a different glove club. Say, hey, use this, use this. This may work. This may not work. You whatever the case may be. So when I think about income streams and being able to have multiple income streams, I kind of think about it in the same way, right? There's different ways that you can get to a different result. There's multiple ways that you can generate income, but you have to use what's most appropriate for the results that you're looking to achieve. Like you said, whether it's through freelancing, whether it's through stocks and investing, whether it's through businesses, whatever the case may be, depending on the results that you're wanting and how fast you're wanting, you're going to base your decisions primarily off of that. What's the overall goal? What are you wanting to achieve? How much money are you wanting to get? How fast do you need that money? What sacrifices are you willing to make? Who around you are you looking to support? Right? Because all of those things matter in the end when you're looking towards areas of investing your money. And so common ways of doing that is through passive income, right? And so this is the type of income that requires an initial investment of money or time. And then in return, you get things such as royalties or monetary gain that generates without you having to be constantly active or involved, right? And that's the money that you make while you're sleeping type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like any I know a lot of people do like courses, right? And if you create a course and again, you put in that initial time and that investment to create that course, you put it online. If you're credible and people are interested in what you have to offer, they go and buy that course, right? And you don't necessarily have to actively be doing something. Now, every now and again, you may have to change some things and update and refresh, but in theory, you can be sleeping and people can still be buying your course. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so those are all
Like same with
options
like
and
real
ways.
estate investing or investing in a
Real estate,
business that
yeah,
you don't
all
actively participate in. Just anything that you make an investment where it requires some work up front, but then you're not actively working it like a job. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't have to be involved from time to time, but most of the time you're not really doing much and you're collecting a paycheck. Or I shouldn't say paycheck, you're just
Absolutely.
collecting profits.
Yeah, there it is. So that's one way. Then if you look at, active income, and this refers to earned income through trading time for money. And so things such as your full-time job or freelance work or any type of side business that you are actively involved in, those are ways that you can make active income, which is perfectly fine, right? It's still an alternative of creating money. So if you do have a full-time job, right, and you start a side business or you do freelance work, and this is not to promote Fiverr or any Upwork or anybody else, but you leverage those
Unless they
things or
want to
you
cut a
put your
check.
yeah,
Promote
right,
you.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Unless they want to. Hey, this can be. You feel me? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind talking about it. But that's another alternative, right? Utilizing those platforms, doing contract work, using your skill set and your expertise, like E was saying, to generate income, right? And then another opportunity that you may have is portfolio income. And this comes through investment, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other paper assets that generate dividends or interest. And that's another opportunity that's there, right? And obviously, in these particular instances, it may be long term profitability that you may have, but that's still ways of having another stream of income that you could potentially pull from in times of economic downturn, in times where it's the holidays and you may want to do a little bit extra, in times where you're wanting to go and buy that house or buy that new car and you utilizing your assets to be able to afford you these particular needs and wants that you may have at certain times of your life, right? And so that's the benefit of having those multiple streams of income. So whether it be through passive income, whether it be through active income, or whether it be through portfolio income, again, whatever your goal is, whatever you want your future to look like, think about those things, sit down, map it out, create a plan, and then execute. And that's it.
Hey, and while we talking about money and the different types of income streams, right? As you put together that plan, obviously any sort of additional income is better than one source. But then
Right.
as you really get good at this, you really want to go in the route of passive income because there's a ton of tax benefits that come along with that.
Yeah.
Because if it's active income, then you're paying like your regular income tax, like what you pay for out of a paycheck when you work a job. Whereas, if it's passive income, it's a cheaper tax rate, right? Like for instance, investing in stocks, you pay a capital gains tax, which if you anything that you've invested over a year,
Over a year. Yeah.
it's a lower tax percentage than your income tax rate. So passive income is really the way to go, and that should be the long term goal. But when you're first starting out, any sort of additional income is a positive. And I know
Right.
sometimes people complain about how much taxes they got to pay on extra income, but like the way I look at it is, okay, you cannot pay no taxes and not have had this income, or you can just pay extra taxes, but you still got extra income. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Yeah.
still extra money.
It's all about
Um,
perspective.
all about perspective. But with all that being said, though, right? When you're trying to create your path, right? So in pursuing financial freedom, and diversifying your income is a key strategy to ensure stability and resilience. And we've kind of hit on that a couple times already, right? So by tapping into your passions and developing a hobby into a profit making venture, you add another stream of income while also creating a sense of fulfillment. And like, you know, it's not just about making money. We want to make money and be happy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
That's
there's
the
a lot
big
of
thing,
people,
being happy.
right? Because there's a lot of people who are rich and miserable, you
Yeah,
know,
boy.
or they work so hard that like they can't enjoy their money, you
Yeah.
know, or they have wronged people, been very um what's a good word I can use, just crossed people, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word. And they don't have many friends or family that they can enjoy their money with, right? And being rich and lonely, I mean, I don't want that, like that's
Yeah.
that's not the life that I would want to live. So we want that sense of fulfillment. Like we want to be happy. We want to make not all money is good money, right?
Yeah.
We want our money to be made the right way and in the righteous way, right? Where we can have a sense of pride and fulfillment, knowing that we went about this the right way. And then that'll help you with your mental health and all of those types of things, right? So this approach that we're talking about allows you to explore unconventional paths and then turn what you love into sustainable sources of income. And like that's the key here. Like find things that you love, that you're like interested in. Like quit just searching for a quick buck and how can I make some money? And
Yeah.
oh,
Get
this
get rich
person
quick scheme.
says that they made three hundred thousand in 2.5 months by doing boom, boom, boom. Like, okay, well, if that really don't interest you and the only thing that caught your attention was the 200,000, then that's not something that you probably should pursue. Like, pursue
Right.
something that you actually enjoy, because that person may actually really enjoy what it was that they were doing, and they may have had a knack or some sort of creative edge that worked for them that you don't have. So you're not going to see that same level of success. Where if you're pursuing something that you got a knack for and that you're, naturally gifted in, then you may be that success story in a completely different, area, So very, very important to, create and chart your own path, right? Don't try to follow after what everybody else is doing, because a lot of these people be faking, just to be
Yeah.
real. And yeah, just what may work for him or her may not work for you, and it's really as simple as that, right? And we've already talked about like freelance work, right? So leveraging your professional expertise and I can't say this word, consultative. It
Hmm.
sounds weird coming out. Consultative or freelance services is another avenue to consider, right? So be a consultant. You know, if you've worked professionally as, I don't know, what's a good example, Sid? I'll just go with a writer.
What
If
writer?
you
Yeah.
yeah, if you've written professionally for your organization, maybe you're responsible for writing your newsletters, or you're like an editor, for a magazine or something. You know what I mean? And you're very good at creative writing. Leverage that.
Yeah.
Offer your services. Or say for instance you are really big into tech. You can act as a consultant with different companies, because all companies use tech, and maybe you are very versed in security, so you can advise on different technologies to use to protect companies data, and so on and so forth. But we all have some sort of experience. Now granted, some of us have more years of experience than others, but with that being said, there's still money to be made if you if
Oh
you if
yeah.
you leverage your experience. So definitely, offer consulting or freelance services. And then I just mentioned this, your years of experience and knowledge can be a valuable asset in the freelance market. And then it also allows you to offer your services on a flexible basis, so you're able to kind of take control over your independence, right? So with that independence, it allows you to dictate your schedule and then choose projects that align to your interests. So like you don't just have to take on whatever. Like when you work at a job, you might get put on some projects that you're not really interested in, but you have to do it. And then it kind of
Hmm.
drains you a little bit. It takes a lot of work and effort, and you're really not motivated. But you got to. They paying you to do this, so you got to get it done. Working as a freelance, in a freelance market, or as a consultant, working for yourself, you got those choices, right? You can speak to a company, have a call. They can kind of go over the project. You can make them aware of where your strong suits are, and if it aligns, great. If it's something that you want to do, for sure. If it's something that doesn't really align with you, and you don't get excited about it, and it might be a little out of your realm, then cool. Like, nah, I got to pass on this. I don't think I'm a good fit. but it gives you that flexibility. And now, even though initially, this whole process that we're talking about, it may seem challenging, venturing into these uncharted territories is not only an investment in yourself, but in your passions and your long-term financial well-being. And once you kind of kick it off, again, it just brings a sense of fulfillment. Like once you know get you win that first job, or you secure that first
Contract.
job with or contract with your freelance business. That's something to be proud about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you went out there, you put in the work. You were vulnerable, and you put yourself out there, and then this is the fruits of your labor, right? Now that tree, or not even tree, now that seed that you planted has grown to a tree, and it has bear fruit. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to be extremely, happy, proud of, and hopefully that'll help to drive you to take more calculated risks and chances.
That's big, man. And the one thing that is required with all of that is just action. You got to put in action. Just a lot of times people get so caught up in the idea and just thinking about it, the process, and that means I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to be here, I don't know how to do this, and what if this happens, and just kind of just thinking about all of the negatives that can potentially transpire as you go through that process of doing something on your own.
Pessimist.
Stepping, huh?
I said a pessimist.
Yeah, man, just being pessimistic, and obviously stepping out on faith is gonna be scary, right? And we say this all the time. A lot of things that you do, if you've never done it, obviously, it's gonna be unfamiliar. You're chartering unfamiliar territory. You're pursuing an unfamiliar path. So yeah, everything is gonna look different. Everything is not gonna sound the same. It's not going to be similar to what you've heard in the past. You're not going to look at things the same way that you did whenever you weren't in this position of wanting to pursue more financial independence or have financial freedom or look to invest or look to build a business or whatever. Like all of those things take time, but initially, yeah, they're going to be unfamiliar. They're going to be some scary moments. They're going to be some challenging moments. That's all a part of the process, right? And through that process, if you continuously to persist, those things are going to allow you to gain the beneficial knowledge and tools that can sustain you and allow you to navigate through the journey of entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Through the journey of becoming an investor. And so it's important to just put the groundwork, right? You can't overlook the groundwork. You can't avoid the process. You know what I'm saying? And a part of that process, whenever you're looking to venture out into doing your own thing, would just be identifying your assets, right? And so recognizing your skills. We've talked about this. What are your skill sets? What are the things that you do very well? What are some of the things that you're interested in wanting to learn more about? What are your experiences? What are your passions? What industry have you been in for 10 plus years, right? Like your experiences can create economic growth for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so looking at those things and getting creative with where you've focused your attention career wise for so long, that can give you the opportunity to create initial or more rather streams of income because they provide a strong foundation for your potential income streams. You know what I'm saying? Because these are areas that you already are familiar with, that you know of, that you like. And so, again, like we've been saying, when you do things that you like and that you're passionate about, you're more inclined to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? And so, identify your assets. The next thing is just going to be research and learn. You got to put yourself out there to know more. When you know more and you understand more, things become less riskier. You know what I'm saying? And E says this all the time. If you're investing your time into knowledge and understanding and growth, things are going to be less riskier for you. And then you're going to understand the opportunities. You're going to understand the risk, the requirements, And then from there, you'll be able to generate the results that you're looking for. The next thing after that is just going to be keeping it manageable. Don't overwhelm yourself. That's the biggest thing too. Don't get overwhelmed by doing everything. Like keep your attention on one aspect of this income stream thing, and then build your yourself to generating more income in different areas. If you go into it and you're just trying to do everything at one time, you're going to complicate it. You're going to overwhelm yourself. And then that's just going to lead to having a sporadic focus and achieving suboptimal results. And you don't want to do that. And then after that, you just want to stay consistent, right? So regular effort and maintenance will help you manage your income streams very well, right? And so being consistent with the process and what you're doing, staying at it day by day, being disciplined with your approach, those things help because again, like consistency breeds success. If you want to be successful in an area, be consistent at it. If you want to see maximize results, be disciplined with your focus, and that's going to lead to the results that you're looking for. And then the next thing after that is just going to be regular reviews. So keeping track of whatever it is that you're doing performance reviews, just like if you're working at a job, they do performance reviews to see how things are going. You want to do that with your income streams as well too. Manage them appropriately, organize them appropriately, and when you're maintaining all of those things along your path of entrepreneurship and creating these multiple income streams, you're able to again have that financial freedom, that financial independence, that financial future that's going to give you the comfortability in knowing that everything that you want, everything that you need, and everybody that is attached to you is going to be taken care of.
No, absolutely, man. And to go back to what you said, right? So my little saying is, the I associate risk with lack of knowledge. So like the less you know about something, the more risky it is, right? And then the more you know about something, the less risky it is because you're able to make a more informed decision. So if you feel something is, very risky or you unsettling, you don't got all the information, then just make a list of, some of the things that you don't know that you need to know, and if there's 10 things on that list, once you're able to check off 5 or 6 of them, then you should start feeling more comfortable to make a decision. And that doesn't mean that just because you learn those 6 things that you should do it. You may learn those
Right.
6 things and be like, ah, nah, I shouldn't do
This
this
ain't for me.
because now this isn't going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I manage risk. I'm sure there's some people who would disagree with my approach to that, but that's how I view it, and it works for me. It makes a lot of sense for me. So yeah, so now to summarize all this up, right? It's all about savoring the fruits of your labor, right? Like everybody would love to have multiple streams of income, but it's about putting the work in. And said you just outlined the blueprint, and if you follow those steps, you know what I'm saying? And you're consistent over a long enough period of time, you'll be able to bear some fruit. Like absolutely.
Something
Now,
bound to
how
happen.
much is going to determine by your amount of effort, your amount of knowledge and skill in whatever areas you're pursuing, and then a little bit of luck. Just keep it real with you. Sometimes it's about what they say, what Wayne say, chances are given or taken like interceptions, right? And then it's about just positioning yourself to be in the right place at the right time. And depending on
That's
how
it
you
right
look
there.
at that, right, it's all about perspective. But is it really luck if you put the work in and then an opportunity came about that you was able to take advantage of? Is that
I
really
think it's
luck?
just strategy.
Right? Like
I
timing.
just think
It
having
just
effective
aligned,
strategy. Yeah.
and then, depending on what you believe in, maybe it was divine and meant to happen and, whatever the case may be. But so, yeah, so is it really luck? Like, not necessarily. You worked hard and positioned yourself to take full advantage. But anyway, right? So managing multiple streams of income is like tending to a carefully nurtured garden, right? So, your hard work and effort yields numerous benefits. So, but there's always some work to be done, just like in a garden.
Yeah.
So, you got to prune the dying branches, you got to water the budding ventures. You got to make sure the soil's cool, and I think that goes back to what said was mentioning about regular reviews. You need to You need to review that garden or those different sources
Yeah.
of income, right? Those different money trees you've planted, those different seeds you've planted, and see how they're developing, right? Because some of them, nah, this ain't growing. Like I'm gonna just get rid of this, or oh, it's filled with weeds. Like, it got infested, some bugs and attacked it. You know what I mean? This ain't working right. Let me focus on these four over here, and maybe we'll plant something else over there in a little while. Once we
Right.
take care of these, right? But doing those regular reviews, and just really making sure that your garden is growing how you want it to, and how you intended for it to grow, right? And make
Right.
sure you're continuously making adjustments, to make sure that it's as healthy as possible to continue to grow. And then, as unfamiliar as it may seem, with doing these things initially, fostering a system of diverse income bears ripe fruit that safeguard financial stability and growth. And again, that's the goal of this. I started off by saying savoring the fruits of your labor. And that's the whole point of this. You want to create those money trees that continue to bear fruit. And it's hard initially when you plant that seed and you don't see anything. you
Right.
know like you watering, time then went by. It's like, man, where is it at? Like, it still ain't came up. But as soon as that thing starts to poke up out the ground, you know what I mean, that's when you got to go even harder.
Right.
You got to continue to put the work and the effort, and have that determination and that resilience, to see it through. And then as each new income stream takes root and flourishes, you further solidify your financial ecosystem. you know the reward is not only in the potential added income, but in the mastery of your financial future, right? Like, the skills that you're learning by creating these additional sources of income, will be beneficial to you in multiple aspects of your life. you know and I'll end with, the time spent nurturing your money tree is an investment, so supporting your journey toward financial freedom, right? So not so, but it's an investment supporting your journey towards financial freedom.
Right.
So very, very, very important. Anything you wanted to add to that said?
No, sir, man. I feel like you highlighted everything that needed to be said in the end, man. Support your dreams.
Hey, support your dreams.
You know
Hey,
what
but
I'm
we greatly
saying?
appreciate y'all as always. We all with constant, views, constant listens. We continuously growing. Um,
We picked up some listeners too, man. I've recognized that, man, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's our goal. That's what we continue to do. We have a goal amongst ourselves, that we want to hit by later this year, and I'm fully confident that we'll be able to hit that goal. But be sure to check out the website. We do have the hats listed at a new price, and y'all know how it go, man.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't do nothing else, keep
Keep
it
it thorough.
thorough, and we'll holler at y'all next time. Deuces.